Today's fun fact of the day has to do with the difference between good habits and bad habits. Did you know that both good habits and bad habits are fairly similar? The brain often does not know the difference between them. We often think about bad habits as those that are doing us harm or other people harm, and good habits that are beneficial to us. But the problem is that very often the line between what is good and what is bad is a judgment call. While I might think of adding sugar to my tea as bad, you might think of adding sugar to your tea as something good. It increases your blood sugar, I might say, while you say it gives you energy. The same habit, two completely different belief systems. So who is to say that this is a bad habit and the other one is a good habit? There is no international court made up of good habit and bad habits, no judge passing judgment. The word bad is judgmental and too subjective. So another way to think about good habits and bad habits is how soon you get the reward from doing them. You will notice that very often bad habits have an instant reward or instant gratification. You smoke and you get that nicotine in your system. You eat cake and you get a dopamine rush. You hit snooze and you get that extra sleep. The list goes on. The pain from doing that bad habit is not instant. The pain is delayed. And as a result, we don't feel it. Or the negatives, we don't feel. Imagine if you had to do 20 squats for every bite of cake you took. Or in order to press snooze, you had to put your hand in a bucket of ice first. Chances are that you would not end up making those bad habit choices. Hence, it is easy to form a bad habit. You get the reward up front and the bad stuff happens for future Ashdin. We are built to pick up these habits easily. When it comes to good habits, it's the exact opposite. The pain and hardship is received right up front. Going to the gym, exercise, it's a pain. It's not pleasurable. And anybody who says exercise is pleasurable needs a whack. Nobody enjoys it. You force yourself to it. To top it all, reward of the exercise is not instant. It comes months later, even years later. Brushing your teeth every day has no immediate reward. Minty fresh breath is not the reason for brushing. The reward is cavity-free teeth over your lifetime. A delayed reward. Eating vegetables is boring, not fun. But the benefits are long-lasting and delayed. Today's podcast is about bad habits. We all have them. Yes, including me as your habit coach, I also have bad habits. Bad habits are so easy to start and so difficult to stop. One of the questions I get asked often is about how to stop a bad habit. And I hate this question because it is always asked to me as a challenge. As a rule, I never work with people who want to break a bad habit. Very often, their full intention for stopping that habit is not there. Hence, it will never work. They come to me and say, Ashdin, I want to stop smoking. And when I ask them why, they say it's because their wife or their children have been nagging them. And I ask them, do you really want to stop? And they often say, no, I'm okay with it. You realize the intention is not there. But at the other end, there are people who are genuinely troubled and just don't know what to do about these habits that they have. They have intention, but no knowledge on the right way to stop a bad habit. So here's the secret to stopping your bad habits. And I keep saying you have to do 3 things. The first, figure out what role that habit plays in your life. Second, find a replacement for it or a pattern-breaking behavior. Third, make it difficult to do or add something harder to do with it. Let's look at step 1. Very often, the bad habits we're inculcating are actually good because they're giving us something that we need. For example, cigarettes might make you feel confident and like a rebel. Porn addiction might be an outcry for boredom or anxiety. Eating might be a way to deal with that emptiness that you feel inside emotionally. For many, coming home, pouring a drink is a habit that acts like a full stop. The working day has ended and now it is time to relax and let loose. Until you identify what role that habit is playing in your life, you will never be able to change it. The second step starts by slowly finding a replacement for it. For my clients who want to give up their evening drinking, we broke the pattern by adding meditation just after reaching home. This meditation made them feel fresh and gave them that replacement activity. It was their full stop for the day. And you can choose something else, like a workout or spending time with your children is a great way of doing this. The third step is to make a bad habit as hard as possible to do. You have to put up barriers, lots of barriers. The tougher something is, the less likely that you will be doing it. For example, place all your junk food in the topmost shelf of your kitchen. If you want to eat a packet of chips, you have to probably first bring a stool, climb up, and then bring it. If you want to stop smoking, don't keep cigarettes at home. Don't keep a lighter around. Don't keep ashtrays around. You want to stop drinking? Lock the alcohol cupboard, and you can probably give the key to your neighbor. That annoying neighbor who will not stop talking to you once they see you, that's the neighbor you give it to. Not the neighbor that will come over and have a drink with you. That's cheating. All right. So you continue like this. You make the habits hard to do. And there is a very important step 4, bonus number 4, which is too deep to get into at this stage and deserves an entire episode of its own. To touch upon it quickly, if you want to stop doing something, you have to stop identifying with it. If I want to stop smoking, I have to stop thinking of myself as a smoker. This is something you have to introspect about. And I can't believe I actually did a podcast on giving up bad habits, because I try to stay away from this discussion as far as possible. But you guys just keep writing to me and asking for this, so hence this episode is out. I obviously deep dive into this entire concept of bad habits in my book, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. You can pick it up, learn how to actually change your life using the steps that are given in it. And by doing this, you can break your bad habits, start forming good habits or habits that serve you in life. So start following these steps above and send me a nice message on Instagram. What are the habits that you are currently going to give up? Now, I won't end this podcast with a super simple habit, because honestly, it isn't simple, but it is doable. And you can break a bad habit. You can make a behavior change. Start by following the steps mentioned above. If you're going to change your habit, make a difference, send me a DM on Instagram at AshdinDoc. Let me know what you're giving up. I want to know how I can be a part of this journey with you. I'm Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. If you like this episode, don't forget to hit subscribe. Also give us a rating. It really helps with people discovering the podcast. If you like podcasts like this, check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can also watch all the episodes on the Habit Coach Awesome 180 YouTube channel. Follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. You can also reach out to me. I am Ashdin Doc at Twitter and Instagram. You can connect with me on my website, awesome180.com. You can also check out my 2 new books, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, and the second, The Book of Good Habits for Kids. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach.
IVM.